Mr. Lockman said that they're old. And this has been called back to the stand, and Detective Murphy, I remind you, you're still under oath.
Yes, ma'am.
When you're ready, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Good morning, Detective Murphy.
Morning.
I believe we left off yesterday looking at the grouping of warrants that you obtained, search warrants you obtained on June the 24th, and described them as being, again, duplicative search warrants, if you will, as far as particular machines, electronic devices, albeit for different purposes. Just to make sure we're on the same page, correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, it starts with 14 SW 0633, and notably of difference in this group of warrants from any of the prior search warrants is that the charge that is set forth on the search warrants has changed, correct?
Yes, sir.
And instead of first-degree child cruelty, we're now, you're alleging that the crime under investigation, or what you believe there's probable cause to believe has occurred, is child cruelty in the second degree, and then the homicide charge, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, in looking at the change going from first degree to second degree, as we discussed yesterday, you were looking at first degree in the area of failure to provide sustenance. And looking at the second degree charge, now there's been a determination that this was more of a criminal negligence matter. Is that correct?
I believe the medical examiner came back with cause of death of hyperthermia, which was falls more under second degree.
All right. And as you were seeking this warrant then, or leading up to it, a decision had been made that was the criminal negligence of leaving Cooper in the car as opposed to some sort of child abuse, correct?
We determined that cruelty to a child of second degree fit the charge, or was a better charge than first degree.
And that's because you had made a determination, and the medical examiner had helped you make a determination, it was because Cooper had been left in the car and not a matter of child abuse, correct?
Yes, they said he was left in the car, and that was the cause of death of hyperthermia.
All right. Now, in looking at that, you understood, did you not, that now we're no longer talking about an intentional act, but a criminally negligent act? Is that correct?
Cruelty in the second?
Yes, sir.
I believe it falls under negligence, yes. But we also, I believe I testified before that we felt it might be malice as well.
Right.
We just didn't have probable cause at that time for that charge.
At this time on June 24th, you didn't have probable cause, you didn't believe for that charge? Is that what I'm understanding?
We felt that it may be malice, but we didn't have enough for that charge at that time. That's why we had cruelty the second.
Okay. Very good. Was the original warrant that alleged that malice, was that dismissed then? Or do you know?
The arrest warrant?
The arrest warrant.
I think the first one was for cruelty in the first, and then it was changed to the second once this information was provided. But I wasn't the detective taking out those warrants, so I can't say for sure.
Fair enough. So at this point in time, now you're going to be meeting with the magistrate regarding a new charge and regarding a different list of things that you want to search for, correct?
New charge as far as second homicide is still on the warrants.
That's correct.
All these items we had previous, not all of them, but the electronic items we had previous warrants. This was just an updated warrant covering, widening our scope because we had more probable cause and different things that we were searching for now, as opposed to the first group.
And all of these devices that you're now getting this group of search warrants for were all items recovered either from the residence pursuant to initial search warrant or from the vehicle pursuant to that initial search warrant, correct?
If you're referring to the electronics?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I think there's other ones with the house. I don't know if you're including those in this batch that were.
Right. you're right. I did not mean to include those, but you're correct. They are in that batch, so thank you for making that clear. All right. As you met with the magistrate, then at this point in time, we're meeting with Judge Hicks, I believe it was.
Yes, sir.
And, or excuse me, yeah, Judge Hicks. And this is the magistrate you had not met with previously regarding the prior search warrants, is that right?
No, I believe this was the first time I was speaking with Judge Hicks regarding this case.
And so as you gave oral testimony to Judge Hicks as to 0633, that would have been the first time that you had a conversation with him about this case, correct?
Yes.
And I have loaded up in the computer that oral testimony. I'll let it play at this time, Your Honor. And I would just make a note for the record, I failed to do this yesterday. Obviously, we're not asking the court reporter to take this down. What's on these recordings, and I don't believe the court reporter is taking them down. He's shaking his head no, so confirming that. But they are in the record, obviously, for anyone to review it as need be.
And if I could add something to the record, I wanted to do this at some point as well, too. The recordings that were tendered actually have a video component to it that we can see on our desktops in the district attorney's office. We too were having some issues playing them on laptops here in the courtroom, so I think we all agree that it's fair and accurate audio recordings. But just for our record, I do want to make it clear that we believe there's actually video embedded on these recordings that can be played with the proper codecs.
Very good. And we're not opposed to that. If someone's able to review it and see the video, we just...
And were you aware of that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
that's fine, and everybody's on the same page except me, and now I am, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I think that if it were...
All right,
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was just going to make the point that I'm assuming that if it were pertinent to the court's consideration, that y'all would have made, taken the steps necessary for me to be able to view it. So in both your opinions, the audio is adequate for me to make the relevant decisions.
I agree with that, Your Honor.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, for the record, I think what the video would show is a picture of the magistrate, or a video of the magistrate in a box, in a smaller box with the affiant, and Your Honor's probably seen those before, you know what they are. But we're not aware of any need for that to be seen, but we're not opposed to if someone reviews them and sees those.
Very good. And I agree with that.
Thank you.
we are recording. Today is Tuesday. It is June 24, 2014. The computer indicates the current time is 10:33 p.m. I'm Judge Hicks. On video conference with me is Detective Murphy of the Cobb County Police Department, who is making an application for a search warrant. The search will be conducted on a computer, a Dell Dimension 9200 computer, currently at the Cobb Police Headquarters. Detective Murphy, do you swear or affirm the information contained in your application, which you'll testify to about this matter of the truth?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Okay, tell me, how did you acquire this computer and why are you searching for it?
The computer was acquired during a search warrant, warrant number 14-SW0597 from Justice Harris's residence at 1212 Lions Ridge Circle, Marietta, Georgia. And basically, we already have one to search the computer, but we've acquired a lot more information since that other warrant was obtained. So we're basically getting more details, what we're looking for, more specific, just based on all the information we've obtained since that warrant was secured.
Okay. And this appears to be that the thrust of this further search would be for financial records, insurance, things of that nature.
Yeah, financial records, insurance. Sees a message. Other women besides, during his interview, he claimed he was happily married. These messages, other women, several of them, making sexual comments, different things to me, where we'd like to look into that, different people to speak to him. And just comments he's made the day of and prior to the incident occurring.
Okay. And this concerns the death of his infant son. As I understand, the case was left in a car seat in the back of his vehicle at his office.
Yes.
Okay. And this is one of several computers that are owned by the defendant?
Yes, so we have several computers and other electronic devices. Different, I guess, search engines. I'm not electronically, that into electronic, but just different computers, iPads, iPods, that type of thing. Do internet searches and that type of thing. Or communicate with others through messaging services and all that.
Okay, and the basis for the search on the computers now, and expanding the search was to include this financial information, life insurance, et cetera, because of, to basically get evidence concerning various details that he has, and statements he has made, and in regard to his personal situation.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think you have probable cause to search this computer for this additional information based on all of the details set out in your application as well as what you testified to. Please sign your application.
Okay, so.
Okay, already sworn as to what's contained in the application, and let me ask you to reaffirm that what's contained in the application, what you have now testified to, has all been the truth.
Yes.
Please sign your search warrant as well.
Okay, so.
Okay, I have signed also. We can stop recording and print out the search warrant.
All right. And Detective Murphy, when the magistrate judge asked you about the basis for the expanded search, he indicated that you were wanting to get evidence concerning details regarding statements made in regard to his personal situation. In your affidavit to the, in your request for the warrant, you have the long list of items there that you're wanting to search for. But none of those are, as the magistrate was discussing, getting details or statements made in regard to his personal situation. Do you agree with that?
I would say finances, credit card debt, could be personal, Scrooge's personal information.
All right. So,
And issues with the child, or, family issues, wife.
Okay. And did you, at no point in time did the magistrate ask you what reason you had to believe any of that information would be on this device, correct?
Well, it's typically finances, and there's emails and communications are on computers. He didn't specifically ask me that.
Nor did you say that to the magistrate in writing or orally, correct?
We stated that we wanted to search the device for finances, credit card debt, business info, life insurance, emails and communications about child, wife, family issues, photos, videos of child development, info on car seat searches, searches about in-car deaths, communications with others on the incident and days leading up to it, and also other information related to the incident. And that's all laid out in the affidavit.
Yeah, I understand you laid out where you wanted to look. My question is, you never told the magistrate any basis of reason to believe that any of this personal situation information would be found on this computer?
It would be common for someone to have that information on a computer.
You never told that to the magistrate, did you?
He never asked.
Okay. So the magistrate doesn't ask, you don't think you need to provide probable cause to the magistrate?
I believe I gave him probable cause.
And in this affidavit, can you point to the location where it says where you inform the magistrate as to why you believe that information would be on this computer?
I list the items we're searching for on the computer.
And that's what you rely upon, correct?
He never asked me if, it's common sense that this information would be on a computer. He never asked me why I would believe it be on a computer. I listed the items we're searching for and had the affidavit for the reason and the probable cause we had to search it.
And as for the affidavit itself, the affidavit language is the same as the previous batch of search warrants. Meaning it's not the original 3 or 4 paragraphs, it's the extended affidavit we were talking about yesterday, correct? Let me be more specific.
I believe we went through the affidavit yesterday. The new affidavit for this batch, yes.
Just as an example, the last one.
Brian's always helpful.
Actually, the affidavit on State Exhibit 14, which is 0633, this is the first search warrant actually has that lengthy in the excess of 1 page information, correct?
Correct.
And this new information that you talk about that you've obtained, this is information regarding these, was referenced in the affidavit as statements, inappropriate sexual communications. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe I state there's evidence of inappropriate sexual communications with other women that has been obtained.
And to that point in time, you have not received any search warrant authorizing the searching for sexual communications of any sort. Is that correct?
This is the first time I've written that in the affidavit, yes.
Very good. And that information that you have in the affidavit, you never informed the magistrate as to where, or the source of that information, that statement that he had, well, let me just say it specifically. Nonetheless, evidence of inappropriate sexual communications with other women has been obtained. That's the statement within this entire affidavit referencing that information, correct?
Yes.
At no point in time did you tell the magistrate where that information came from, correct?
No, I did not. He didn't ask either.
You did not tell the magistrate how that information was obtained, correct?
Correct.
Nor did you tell the magistrate when that information was obtained, correct?
Correct.
Maybe more importantly, you never, ever informed the magistrate as to the, whatever communication those were, or wherever they were found, or whenever they came from, when those communications had occurred.
I believe in the oral testimony, I mentioned that I think I just mentioned message other women making sexual comments. I don't believe I said when.
Very good. That's the notes I have as well. That's what you told him. He messaged other women with sexual comments, not placing any time frame at all to that, correct?
No, I never mentioned any time or when it occurred.
All right. Now, this warrant, search warrant application is the same format that you use for all of the search warrants you obtained, correct?
For this group? Or,
Every search warrant you obtained in this case.
oh, you mean the format for the search warrant?
That's right. It's this EW.
Yes, it's the same format, yes.
And with regards to the At the bottom of the front page of each of these, and depending on how lengthy your request is, I guess, would affect how far it is on the page. But it talks about the foregoing described property, items, articles, instruments, and persons to be searched for and seized constitute evidence connected with the foregoing listed crimes are, and then you have these checks: designed for use in commission of a crime, intended for use in commission of a crime, have been used in commission of a crime, or tangible evidence of the commission of a crime.
Yes.
You know what I'm referring to now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, at no point in time did you advise the magistrate, as we've just listed the oral testimony or in this written form, that you were trying to locate some evidence of some possible motive that the police department thought might exist in this case, correct?
I believe by describing that we're searching for finances, credit card debt, business info, life insurance, those would be related to motive.
Okay. So, and again, is that your belief and your understanding that simply telling where you want to look, that suffices to explain your probable cause?
I was searching for a search warrant for probable cause to search the computer in this particular search warrant for those list of items.
And then right before the affidavit part, where you actually, it prompts you to put forth the facts establishing probable cause, it indicates on there, does it not, the facts establishing probable cause in searching for and seizing the foregoing specifically described persons, property, items, articles, instruments connected with the foregoing crimes at the location described herein are. And then specifically it says, set forth facts connecting all crimes, all items to be searched for and seized at the location to be searched. You familiar with that?
Yes.
So despite having that right there, your understanding is that any connection or actual probable cause you would have simply contained in the list of items you want to look at.
No, I believe the probable cause is also listed out in the affidavit.
All right. Certainly supposed to be, correct?
Correct. (14-SW-0634). This is another search warrant for this Google Chromecast. And I would clear now at this point in time that the Google Chromecast had no ability to be containing any of the information that y'all were searching for in these warrants. We didn't know that at the time.
And you didn't know that because you had not investigated what it was before you saw the search warrant for it, correct?
I was aware that it was an electronic device with possible internet capability or storage ability, and under abundance of caution, we're seeking a search warrant for that item.
And specifically, when you talk to the magistrate in your oral testimony in this one, you advised the magistrate, I don't know what that is. Do you recall that? Did you make note of that?
I did make that statement.
Nevertheless, the magistrate issued a search warrant for that, correct?
Yes, it did.
And the magistrate asked you about the life insurance specifically in your oral testimony, correct?
Yes.
I believe this is a relatively quick one. Let's listen to what you told the magistrate about that.
recording. Today is Tuesday. It is June 24, 2014. The computer time is 10:42 p.m. I'm Judge Hicks. On video conference with me is Detective Murphy of the Cobb County Police Department, who is making an application for a search warrant. The search would be conducted on a computer, a Google, what is the name of this?
Chromecast?
Chromecast. Okay. Yeah, it's currently in the custody of the Cobb County Police at the CAP office, evidence room. Detective Murphy, do you swear or affirm the information in your application what you'll testify to is the truth?
Yes.
Okay. How did you acquire this? Who does it belong to, and what are you looking for on it?
It was acquired through execution of search warrant 14-SW-0597 at Justin Harris's residence, 1212 Wine Ridge Circle, Marietta, Georgia.
Okay. And you were looking, according to the narrative, you set out the complete details of the background of the case involving the death of the defendant's minor son being left in a car seat in the back of his vehicle. And what are you looking for on this particular computer now?
Searching for information pertaining to finances, credit card debt, business information, life insurance, emails, communication regarding child, wife, family issues, photos and videos of child to show development, information about car seat searches, searches regarding in-car deaths, communication with people on the days leading up to and incident date, information on life insurance policies. So any other information related to this incident which could possibly have cost.
Okay. It's my understanding that there is a life insurance policy possibly involved on the life of this child.
Possibly, Mr. Harris had made statements to family members regarding what paperwork they could get together to obtain the policy. We have not located one yet. He has made statements about it, which leads us to believe that there is.
I think you have probable cause to conduct this search. I will approve your search warrant based on the detailed information in the application, what you testified to. Please sign your application.
Okay, son.
You've already sworn to everything in the application. Let me ask you to reaffirm what you included in the application, what you've now testified to has all been the truth.
That's good.
Please sign your search warrant as well.
Yeah. Okay, son.
Okay, I've signed also. We can stop recording and print out your search warrant. All right, we are recording. Today is...
Sorry, started it over again. The magistrate judge asked you specifically about whether or not life insurance was possibly involved. And your oral response to the magistrate is, well, it's possible, correct?
I believe so.
In other words, you did not have, even at that point in time, you didn't even have any evidence that there was life insurance.
I had information that it was, Mr. Harris had discussed life insurance,
That's right.
so we believe there was a policy.
And the only information you provided to the magistrate in that regard was in the affidavit where you stated through the investigation, Harris has made comments to family members regarding a life insurance policy that he has on Cooper and what they need in order to file for it. Correct?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
I think it's on the top of the 3rd page, if you're looking at the application.
Yes.
And that's the complete entirety of what you informed the magistrate about life insurance in this case, correct?
Yeah, I advised him on, that's in the affidavit, and I advised him that it had come up in conversation summarizing it with family members.
That's
And
right.
that leads us to believe that there was a life insurance policy on Cooper.
Did you indicate to the, well, you never indicated to the magistrate how that conversation took place? This family member's talking about life insurance, correct?
No, I never mentioned how it took place.
Did you even know where that information came from?
It was provided to me from another detective, and I believe it was through jail phone calls or conversations while he was in custody.
And were you provided information with the context of that phone conversation?
No, I was not.
And were you provided any detail as to what portion of the conversation involved any discussion of life insurance?
No, just pretty much that, the issue of life insurance, that there were comments made between him and family members regarding life insurance on Cooper, and that had come up in conversation.
All right. So as far as what the life, well, first of all, who even brought up the life insurance? You didn't have that information, correct?
It was brought up in conversation with family between Mr. Harris and another relative.
If you had been told that in fact it wasn't Mr. Harris who brought it up, but some family member who asked about it, would that have been information you would have given to the magistrate?
I may have. I'm just simply telling them that, hey, it's come up in conversation, and we believe there's a life insurance policy.
All right. But you didn't tell him how it came up, when it came up, or how you had that information, correct?
No, I did not. He did not ask either.
He did not ask. All right. (14-SW0635). This is for a MacBook Pro laptop. In your, again, your affidavit is the same on this warrant for this whole group of warrants, correct?
Yes, sir.
In your oral testimony, and I know you have your notes there with you, did you note that in fact, again, the magistrate, when asked you what you were looking for in particular, you simply recounted what's in your list of things y'all want to look for, correct?
Yes.
All right. And never was there any question asked of you as to why do you have any reason to believe any of that information would be on this laptop, correct?
He didn't ask me that question during that search warrant, but you could refer back to the beginning of it too.
Beginning of?
0633 was taken into account for the following search warrants after it.
Right, the one that we've already listened to this morning, correct?
Yes, sir.
As regards the search warrant 14-SW0636, was no 530. This is located in the vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, this occasion, even though you've already talked to this as the same Judge Hicks, same magistrate, did you get all of these search warrants in succession, meaning you're sitting there in one session in front of the computer?
Yes, it was all one session. We just went from one to the next.
On this one, though, the judge actually makes a comment and notes that, wow, there seems to be a lot of computers here, correct?
Yes, he does.
And with regards to questioning about why there are so many computers and whether or not there's any evidence specific to any computer. He never asked you specifically, well, what evidence you think is on this computer as opposed to that computer, correct?
No, he never asked specifically.
I want to play that and have a question on the other side.
All right, we are recording. Today is Tuesday. It is June 24, 2014. Time on the computer, it's 10:55 p.m. I'm Judge Hicks. On video conference with me is Detective Murphy of the Cobb County Police Department, who's making an application for a search warrant. The search will be conducted by a forensic examination of a computer, a Lenovo T530 ThinkPad, located at the Crimes Against Persons Unit at the Cobb County Police Department, Marietta, Cobb County, Georgia. Detective Murphy, do you swear or affirm the information in your application, what you'll testify to about this matter of the truth?
Yes, sir.
And you set out in detail in your application that this relates to a homicide of a infant child. The father of the child has been accused. This having come about allegedly by child being left in a car seat in the back of a vehicle. How does this computer relate to that charge?
The computer was secured during a search warrant of Justin Harris's residence, during a search warrant of his vehicle, a 2011 Hyundai Tucson, during the tag Romeo Tango 7088. This is the vehicle the child was in when he passed away and when he was in while he was at his place business. And the warrant this was secured under the ThinkPad was secured from the vehicle under search warrant number 14-SW-0598. And we're looking to search the device for any information pertaining to finances, credit card debt, business information, life insurance, emails, communication regarding child, life and family issues, photos of the child to show the child development, information about car seat searches regarding in-car deaths, communications with other people on the days leading up to and incident date, information on life insurance policies, and any other information related to this incident.
Now, this is at least the fourth computer that you have seized in connection with this, either at the residence or within that vehicle. That's an awful lot of computers.
See how it works with computers. So some of these computers are business computers, but he also brings them home and uses them for personal. I believe these they have that design.
Okay. And it's the information you're searching on these computers is based on follow-up to during your investigation to determine the truth or falsehood of various statements that the defendant has made and that his wife has made in connection with this case.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I think you have probable cause to search this computer. I will approve your search warrant. Please sign your application. Okay, you've already sworn to everything on your application. Let me ask you to reaffirm that what you've now testified to has also been the truth. Sign your warrant, please.
Okay, sign.
All right, we can stop recording and print out your search warrant.
All right. On this occasion, the magistrate judge actually does ask you how this computer relates to the charge. And your only response to him is that, well, we found it in his car and we got it pursuant to a prior search warrant. Correct?
Yeah, I described that, where the computer was acquired and under what search warrant.
And so basically, simply the fact that it was in his car at the time that the child died was your reason why you believed there was evidence on there to be located.
No, that's not the only reason.
Did you have any specific evidence regarding this specific computer, of its use at all prior to seeking the search warrant?
And going back to my affidavit, we had, statements that he's made regarding in-car deaths, and we're looking for issues regarding motive with finances, credit card debt, business info, life insurance. We also had communications about the child, wife, family issues. Can you make communications with others leading up to including the incident? You can communicate through computers now.
And that list is what you're looking for, not what you had evidence of, correct?
We had probable cause to search the computer for that evidence, yes.
What evidence about this computer did you have other than it was in the car that Mr. Harris was driving?
It was in his possession inside the vehicle when his son died.
And that's it,
And
correct?
he may have used it to search or have searched or stored this evidence on it.
He may have. You had no independent evidence to...
Yes, we don't know what electronic device this information would have been on.
I understand that. Because you had not, even though it's now been about a week or 6 days since the death, you still have not independently got any investigation to connect this computer to this child's death, correct?
He had made statements that he had gone on the computer, he'd watched the news story, which could have been done on the computer, and also the veterinarian video regarding how hot it gets in a car.
All right. None of which in those 6 days you had any reason to disbelieve, correct?
Disbelieve the statements he made?
Right.
I didn't know whether to believe him or not. That's why we're obtaining a search warrant for the computers to see if he had researched this, or these items. And, of course, in this search warrant, we also listed several other items regarding motive and regarding his statement about he was happily married and these other issues with other women, family issues and that type of thing.
You also offered to the magistrate one piece of new information you provided to the magistrate here was that you believed he was a web designer. And where did that information come from?
Well, it came from Home Depot.
All right. And did you explain to the magistrate the source of that statement?
I shouldn't say Home Depot, or he might have stated that in his interview. I don't know if he stated that in his interview or not.
You don't even know where it came from, so you certainly didn't tell the magistrate the source of that information, correct?
Correct. I informed him that I believed he was a web designer.
And then you also offer that you believe he brings them home and works on them, these computers, correct?
Yes.
And again, you do not provide any source of that information to the magistrate?
For what we would say, evidence regarding him bringing them home and working on the computers?
Where you got that idea that he brings them home and works on them and is a web designer?
Now, we had that information through Home Depot, and I believe we spoke with one of his co-workers, and we had that information that they do work from home.
But not one time did you put that in writing or your oral testimony to the magistrate, correct?
It's not in writing, and he did not ask me.
All right. 14 SW 0634, excuse me, 0637. This is for an Apple MacBook Pro, again, located in the vehicle Mr. Harris is driving. And and am I correct to presume that, again, your reason for wanting to look into that device was similar to what you've already indicated, which was because it was in the car at the time and you didn't know what might be on there, you just wanted to see if in fact you could find any of these items on there?
Not necessarily the way you worded it.
Okay, well, you were.
We wanted to search the device because of the statements made by the defendant, and also regarding, motives such as finance, credit card, business information, life insurance, emails, communication about the child, the wife, family issues, photos, videos of child, show development, info on car seat searches. I already mentioned in-car deaths, communication with others on the incident date and days leading up to the incident, and any other information that would be related to this incident. This computer was inside the vehicle at the time of the child's death. Well, it was inside the vehicle at the end of the day when the child was discovered by Mr. Harris, and we did not know what piece of electronic device would have this particular information or searches.
In fact, you didn't know if any of these electronic devices would have any of this information on it, correct?
We did not know if it would or not. I mean, it was just common to have information such as your finances, banking, life insurance, emails, and all this stuff on those type of devices, or if you would have done some type of internet search.
And it could have been a computer belonging to one of his friends that he had lunch with that day, correct?
I wouldn't know if it was or not.
Exactly.
It was in his possession.
But when you were speaking with the magistrate and seeking a search warrant, you didn't have any precaution in place to look to see if in fact it had anything to do with him first before you started searching who knows whose computer this was. You just wanted to look to see if you could find any of this information in it.
It was in his possession,
I got that.
and we didn't know if he had done these type of searches or this type of information would be on it or not.
Bottom line is you didn't know that any information would be on there, correct?
We did not know what specific.
Did you know generally what you would find on there?
No. No.
All right. 14SW0638 for an Apple iPad, also located in the vehicle.
Mr. Rollins, what was that one?
0638.
Thank you, sir.
In 0639, it's for an iPhone, was located inside the vehicle. Mr. Harris was driving. When the magistrate asked you again, specifically, why are you looking in this device? Again, you simply provided him the list of things that y'all wanted to look for, correct?
In oral testimony, correct.
In 0640, now we're leaving electronic devices. This is the one where you were asking to look through the house again to look for light bulbs, do an inspection of light bulbs, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that warrant, it was never actually executed, is that correct?
That's correct. We did not execute that search warrant.
In 0641, this was a search warrant for some Home Depot records, some records in the HR department, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that warrant indicate you want to obtain Mr. Harris's personnel records to include evidence of life insurance policies, pay stubs, and any other paperwork pertaining to the investigation, correct?
Yes.
And that phrase, any other paperwork pertaining to the investigation, what would that limit your searching Home Depot's Human Resources Department to?
To be limited to anything that would be related to this incident or investigation.
And what would that be?
as far as limiting it.
Right.
We asked for personal records, including evidence of life insurance policies, pay stubs. If there's any other record pertaining to investigation, if they had, the daycare was inside Home Depot, I don't know if any of that would be in his personal files or not. I don't know what their HR department keeps in file for their personnel.
So if there had been some daycare information in there, you would have gotten that too?
If it pertained to the investigation, possibly.
Were you the one who executed this warrant? The search warrant?
I don't know if I did or not.
You did the return on it, if that's of any help.
I did the return, but
It was copied, was left with a Ms. Mary Loudermilk. Does that name ring a bell?
yes, it does. Hang on a second. I believe I was the one that went and picked up the disc. I'm checking right now. Check.
All right. So ultimately, whatever was turned over to you, that was left to a Home Depot employee to decide what was going to be turned over to you, correct?
Yes, it would have been up to them to obtain the records that they were going to turn over to us.
Now going to the June 27th group of warrants. And these are for several other electronic devices, correct?
Yes, there's 4 electronic devices. Another warrant was secured, and as far as consecutively with that judge, for Mr. Harris's residence. 2 were obtained for, one was obtained for Cooper Harris's medical records and Justin Harris's medical records. And then the last one in that group was for the cell phone that was on his person the day of the incident when he was arrested. Or that was...
Well, let's just start with the first one, 14 SW 0653 for a SanDisk Cruiser thumb drive. How did that, where was that item located?
inside the vehicle.
And as far as what a SanDisk Cruiser Glide 32 gigabyte thumb drive was, did you have an idea what that was at the time you secured the search warrant?
Yes, a thumb drive.
And in that regard, you understood it to be something that could electronically store information, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at this point in time, in addition to the 4 items we've talked about before, searching for evidence designed for use in commission of the crime, intended for use in commission of the crime, or has been used in the commission of the crime, or tangible evidence of the commission of the crime, you now start adding a different description as being other, all digital and electronically stored data, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this is the first one that we're starting to see this as one of the items you're looking for, correct?
Yes, sir.
As far as this thumb drive, you were getting a search warrant for it on June 27th. You had no specific information as to Mr. Harris's ever having used or accessed this thumb drive at the time you got the search warrant, correct?
We knew that it was inside his vehicle in his possession at the time.
All right. And when asked by the magistrate, what do you think you're going to find there, you then, again, just simply listed out the request of what y'all wanted to look for, correct?
Yes, I gave him the list of the what we're searching for.
And the magistrate at this point in time even notes that you're asking for any information that could relate to this incident, that was kind of a bit broad of a request. You recall that?
Yeah, I think he references based on the last statement of mine of other information related to this incident. He does state that that last statement seems a little broad.
All right. But you didn't ask for that to be removed from the search warrant, correct?
The judge states that the last statement is a little broad, and then he says that, but he thinks that the other ones are pretty specific based on the facts. And I don't know if there's any conversation after that or not.
The search warrant itself, however, leaves that information, or leaves that phrase in there, any other information related to this incident, correct?
Yes, it's still in the search warrant.
And this is the first time that you spoke with the magistrate, correct? As to this group of warrants?
Yes, this is Judge Taylor. This would be the first time I spoke with him regarding this.
And you end up in the subsequent warrants referencing that testimony, correct?
I'm sorry.
When you got the subsequent search warrants, you recall there being reference to?
Yes, the warrants after this are a reference to the prior testimony, correct?
We'll play this one then, since I think we'll be talking about that.
I think it's working. Go ahead and raise your right hand for me, please. You swear affirm to tell me the truth, the whole truth, but what truth so help you God.
Yes.
Can you get your name, where you work, please? It's about 1:40 p.m. on June 27, 2014, according to my computer. Your side showing the same?
Yes.
All right, take it. We have a number, we've got how many of these? 8? Okay. What I'd like to do, I know they're all involved in the same case, and it's for some efficiency's sake, but also the way the computer works. And these are all involving the same underlying case, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What I want to do is take the bulk of the common core testimony, underlying fact testimony, applicable to all these search warrant applications here on this video. And what we'll do is we'll incorporate that into later ones, then talk about specific other facts as they relate to each search warrant. That'll keep us from having to redo that same common core basic testimony 8 different times. Also, what we'll have to do is once we finish one, I don't record the printing process because we have to give you a password. I'll stop the recording, give you a password, we'll print. I've got to log out, log back in to pull up the next one. Then we'll start the next recording, but I'll just make reference back to this and move on. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the first one I have up here is E010690. Let's take the common testimony for all these and tell me specifically what you're looking for in this application.
Let's start with this. On June 18th, the property 624, Christian Johnson responded to 2955 New Regional Road in Georgia regarding a person downfall, and they have seen and discovered Mr. Harris A 22-month-old child deceased. The county person was contacted, we have to begin our investigation. Our investigation doesn't care, the deceased was father. The witness by a bystander was calling the parking lot of Uncle Manuel Pizza at 2955 Road. Did a Honda Tuscan, road tag RT7088. Vehicle came to a sudden stop, Harris exits the vehicle, goes to the back passenger compartment, and begins taking some of the child seat, pulls his kid out, lays him on the ground, and he's saying things such as, "Oh my God, what have I done?" He briefly attempts CPR on the deceased child. Before some bystanders attempt to place it as well. At that time, he stepped back to the child, basically away from separates him from the child. He keeps making phone calls on his cell phone. Our knowledge, he never called 911. Harris, question on scene states that he went to work that morning and forgot to drop his child off to daycare. He left his residence, went to Chick-fil-A on Humboldt Parkway, specifically because he knew his child missed breakfast at daycare, was running late, so he took the child there to eat breakfast. Once he left Chick-fil-A, puts the kid in the car seat, leaves Chick-fil-A, forgets the child in the car, drives a short distance, approximately 3 minutes to his work, where he parks the car, unloads some of his items that he carries into work from the front driver's area, goes into work, comes back at lunchtime to drop off some light bulbs that he purchases at Home Depot during lunch with his friends, puts them into the vehicle, opens up the driver's side compartment, lays it in, does not see the child, goes back to work, comes back at around 1600-ish when he gets off of work. 16:15, gets into the vehicle, gets in, drives off, and sees the kid's head as he tries to change lanes, making a right-hand turn, approximately 5 minutes down one way, and then realized he forgot his child left in the car. It was in 90 degrees for most of the day that day. Leaving that video of him driving to work, he backs up, in reverse between two cars for several feet, pulls into a parking spot, sits there for about 30 seconds, goes into work, down on video, where his friends drop him off, open the door, put it in the bag into the car, and also when he gets in the vehicle and leaves at the end of the day. Third interview, he's asked about Cooper's development, or the Harris's, walking, talking, everything appears to be normal for a child of that age. He's asked about his financials. He's recently started a new business with several friends. Still planning on keeping his regular job. And he basically just getting started with a new business. Talking about like credit card debt and other debt that he possibly had in $4,000 in credit card debt. He has outstanding student loans and car loans between him and his wife. Says that he's happily married, although there's evidence of inappropriate sexual communications with him and other women that have been obtained during the investigation. The day of the investigation, Leanna Cooper, the child's mother, is also questioned by investigators. During her interview, she makes a similar statement. I will go back. During Harris' interview, he makes a statement about this is his worst fear, saying, what's your worst fear? And he says specifically that leaving my child in a hot vehicle is my worst fear. He then says that he recently watched some videos regarding this and also watched some YouTube videos and other related deaths or animal incidents with being off the vehicles. His wife is questioned also the same day. She makes a similar statement that this is her greatest fear, and it's kind of confirmed by the fact that not just losing a child, but specifically leaving in a hot vehicle is the greatest fear. During the investigation, Harris has also made comments to Canada regarding life insurance policies that he has a food and what they need to be responsible for. Requested for a certain change warrant for a Sandus Cruise Line 32 GP thumb drive to secure the execution of a search warrant, warrant number 14SW0598 on the Hyundai Tuscan, square tag Romeo Tango 7088 to basically search the electronic data and find it at that point.
Okay, and what are you looking to find there? What do you think you're gonna find there?
We're searching for any information pertaining to finances, credit card debt, business information, life insurance, emails, communications regarding the child, wife, and family, photos or videos of the child showing evidence of development, information about car seat searches. During inspection, it was also very specific. He knew the exact make and model of the car seat, and specifically that the child was big enough to sit in the car seat. Searches regarding in-car deaths, communications with other people on the day leading up to and including the incident day, and information, life insurance policies, and any other information that is related to this.
Okay. Well, that last statement's good, Rob. I think the other ones are pretty specific based upon the facts, so I think there's probable cause to issue the warrants. Let me make sure it's saved. Sometimes you gotta do it twice. Go ahead and sign the application portion, please.
Okay.
Let me sign my side. Go ahead and sign the warrant portion, please. Sign my side. I'm going to give you a password to print in just a second. I don't record that whole password printing process, so anything you want to add to this recording before I stop it? All right, what I'll do is I'll stop this, I'll give you a password, then I'll print. I've got to go in and log in and we'll pull up 691 next. I'll have to restart the video, and then we'll continue on from there, okay? All right, so let me stop that for now.
All right. In your explaining the probable cause to Judge Taylor, you mentioned that, in fact, Mr. Harris, in leaving the Chick-fil-A, had forgot his child was in his car, and that upon leaving work later that day, as he was driving, in his peripheral vision, he saw his child and realized that he had forgotten his child in the car, correct?
Correct.
And you had no evidence at all provided to the magistrate to disprove those statements, correct?
Those were statements taken from Mr. Harris.
Correct. You had no evidence to disprove that at that time, correct?
To disprove,
His
yes, we had
statements that he forgot his child in his car.
video that he went back to the vehicle at lunchtime, and that he went back to the vehicle to leave the Home Depot.
Right?
And we still didn't know if there was any kind of communications throughout the day regarding the child.
And in that video that you observed, you were able to see him. First of all, did you even see that video yourself
Yes, I did.
prior to getting the search warrant?
Yes.
All right. And so as you saw that video, you saw Mr. Harris open the car door, never get inside the car, but simply toss the bag of light bulbs into the car, correct?
Correct.
Never looked down into the car, never looked in the back seat, just simply opened the door, put the bag in, and closed the door, correct?
The quality video isn't excellent. You can see him open the door, place the bag into, I believe it's the passenger seat from the driver's side, but you can't see specifically where he's looking.
Well, you certainly see that he never got inside the car.
He doesn't, I don't think he gets inside the vehicle in the video.
In
from my
fact, his
recollection.
head never even got below the roof of the car, correct?
I can't remember. I have to watch the video again. It's been a while since I've seen it.
All right. And again, when asked by Judge Taylor, what do you think you're going to find there, you simply related to him the long list of things that y'all wanted to look for, correct?
Correct.
You didn't specify any of these things that you believe would be on this thumb drive, correct?
We were obtaining the search warrant because we didn't know what would be on the thumb drive.
Absolutely.
And this is, the list of items is what we were searching for.
you had no evidence whatsoever as to any of these things that would be on this thumb drive. You were just wanting to look at it and see what might be on there.
No, we were looking for the specific items that I list.
I understand.
And a thumb drive typically store stuff you could store, I don't know, videos, financial information, you pretty much save anything from a computer onto a thumb drive now. So we had no idea what would be on this thumb drive. That's why we were obtaining a search warrant for this list of items.
And the only reason you're looking at this thumb drive as to any other thumb drive is because it was in the vehicle.
It was in the vehicle in his possession.
All right. I'll find it in a minute. Sleep those things.
Mr. Lumpy, maybe the package.
I'm sorry.
Didn't check the package.
You're talking about the envelope here?
Yes, sir.
I'll put it with it, we'll find it. The actual sleeve in it. I'm sure I misplaced it somewhere. 14 HW0654. This is for an external hard drive. You also got that same day, immediately following this search warrant we've just been talking about, from Judge Taylor, which you incorporate this prior testimony, correct?
Yes, sir.
And again, when asked about specific facts and what's looking for in this application, you did not provide any new information other than this list of things y'all were looking for, and that this was found in his car, correct?
As far as the oral testimony, I provide the list of what we're searching for, and I mean, they take into account the previous search warrant as well.
All right. All right. Did you note Judge Taylor made some comment about this being bigger than a thumb drive?
I did not note that.
Okay. But simply the fact that it's a larger, physically larger piece of equipment, that did not give you any reason to believe there's going to be evidence on this device any more than there would be evidence on the thumb drive, correct?
We didn't know which device would contain the evidence we were searching for.
Very good. Then 14 SW0655 is a SanDisk 2 gig SD card.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what that is? An SD card?
Some type of memory card is how I would describe it.
Any idea how it is accessed?
No, sir.
Do you know where it was located other than inside Mr. Harris's vehicle?
In the vehicle. To my understanding, these items were in his, I guess, work bag or computer bag, but I'm not specifically sure exactly where every item was.
All right. You don't know if it was loose in there or if it was plugged into a computer or a phone or anything of that nature?
I don't know.
Excuse me. All right. And again, there's no new information provided. It's the same affidavit, the same request, the same list.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Then 14 SW0656, this is for a CDR.
DVDR.
A DVDR, I apologize, thank you. And that is similar to what we've been using here in court, around compact disc that has the capability of holding video on it, correct?
Correct. Video. I don't know if it's capable of containing files or any of that type of information as well.
All right. And no one had looked at that DVD-R other than physically seeing the outside of the disc, correct? Prior to seeking the search warrant?
I believe so, yes.
All right. And again, other than possibly being in his bag inside of his car, you didn't have any specific information as to where it was located, correct?
Correct.
Judge Taylor asked you if this was a recordable DVD. You recall that?
I remember him mentioning recordable DVD.
And did you note your response to that?
No, I didn't. I don't have any notes for that one. I just recall him stating a recordable DVD. I don't remember my response.
Do you recall, if this refreshes your recollection on, do you recall saying to him, it has a hard drive in it, I guess?
I don't remember what I said specifically.
I don't think it's very long. See if this will help refresh. And I believe it's near the end of your oral testimony is this question about what type of DVD it is. I want to ask you about that on the other end.
Okay.
I know you'll be listening to all of it, but that's specifically what I'll be asking about.
Meet your raise your right hand again, please. Start from telling the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, this is a continuation of a series that we're, search warrants that we're doing for the same case, different things to be searched, of course. Just for the purposes of this video, we took the Commonwealth testimony for each of these under E010690, and we've been incorporating that common testimony by reference through the last two, which is 691 and 692. We're up to E010693, and again, I'll incorporate that common testimony by reference hearings and all pertains to the same underlying case. So I know what's going on generally, so what do we have specifically about this search warrant what did you find, what are you looking to do?
This one is for a DVD-R, which is basically a DVD, which was secured on execution of search warrant on Harris vehicle, 2011 Honda Tuscan, turn tag RT7. And we want to search this item for information pertaining to finances, credit card debt, business information, life insurance, emails, communication regarding child, wife, family issues, photos, videos of child and development, information about car seat searches regarding in-car thefts, communication with those people on the days leading up to that incident date, information on life insurance policies, and any other related information.
All right, and this DVD-R was actually in his vehicle, not, is it from the vehicle or, okay.
It was in, he had like a, kind of like a work bag that had all his electronic devices.
Oh, I see, okay, all right. And the DVD-R, it's a assumption on my part, but it was seen all the time at the stores. That's the recordable DVD. The R stands for recordable, so
Yes.
so it's got a hard drive in it essentially, I guess. Okay. All right. Let me make sure all these are checked. That's checked. That's checked. Okay, well, I think there's probable cause to investigate this one, search this one further. Similar to the others, let me make sure it's all saved. If you would, sign the application for me, please. Keep this straight here.
Okay.
Sorry, hold on. Sign my side. All right, sign the warrant portion, please. Sign my portion. All right, same routine. As soon as I get this signed, I'm going to stop the recording so I can give you a password to print. Anything you want to add specifically to this one before we stop it?
No, sir.
Stop that and give you a password.
All right. In talking about the recordable nature of it, it's actually Judge Taylor who makes a comment that it essentially has a hard drive in it, I guess. You did not respond to his comment, obviously, as we heard the oral testimony, correct?
Correct.
All right. And at that point in time, when asked about the specifics of this device, again, you provided no additional new information. You simply recounted what you'd already told the magistrate before, correct?
Just listing what we're searching for.
All right, very good. Now, 14 SW 0657 moves on to a second warrant for the residence of Mr. Harris, and again, looking for light bulbs as well as some financial paperwork, correct?
Yes, it lists the paperwork, but yes.
And this is essentially another search warrant duplicating the one you've already sought and been given, but because it wasn't executed, you decided to get another one, correct?
Correct.
And did you have any reason to, or did you know why the first warrant had not been executed?
Yes, sir. The first search warrant was specifically for the light bulbs, and then I had added the financial paperwork, bank information, credit card information, life insurance policy, business paperwork.
Okay. But do you know why the first one wasn't executed to look for the...
Because we wanted to, I typed up the first search warrant, and once we looked at it, Detective Starr informed me that he wanted to have this other information on there, which I failed to put on the first search warrant. So we had added that. And didn't serve it because we were going to, this way we could do it, serve it all at one time.
Even that search warrant had been, the previous search warrant for the light bulb inspection was 3 days prior, but at some point in time in those 3 days, y'all made a determination, let's wait, let's just get a separate one that includes financial information.
Correct.
All right. And again, looking for the financial information, your basis for wanting to look at that was regarding comments made to family members regarding a life insurance policy.
For the life insurance, it all comes down to motive. Banking information, what the finances were, what the life insurance was, credit card debt, business information. He had started his new business with his friends, was that creating a lot of debt? We didn't know.
Is it fair to say you were just kind of brainstorming ideas as what could be a possible motive in this case for him to have hurt his child? Is that fair to say?
Yes, we had brainstormed what would be possible motives for this.
Okay. You didn't have any evidence whatsoever that was provided to the magistrate regarding any disproving of Mr. Harris's statements that he simply forgot his child was in his car when he went to work that day, correct?
No, we had the surveillance video from the Home Depot and the statements he made in his interview and his wife's interview, which were suspicious. The lack of emotion the day of the incident.
The suspiciousness was that they watched TV and they looked on the internet. They weren't emotional enough for somebody. Is that right?
Suspicion was that he made comments that he'd recently watched news reports on this. He saw the veterinarian video about hot cars. They both stated this was their worst fear, and the detectives involved in the incident that were dealing with them found it to be suspicious the way they were acting with the limited amount of emotion.
Did you ever ask anybody, well, how much emotion are we talking about?
I didn't specifically ask that question.
Because you had been told about a whole lot of emotion that came out of Mr. Harris the day this happened by talking with eyewitnesses that saw him coming into that parking lot, correct?
Yes, they did say that he was in a panic.
Did you challenge anybody with this claim that they weren't showing enough emotion, that, hey, the first people that saw him said he was in a panic, acting hysterical?
Did I challenge the detectives about that?
Right.
No, they were aware of the statements that were made by witnesses.
But they sent you to get the under oath search warrant
Yes.
with that as a basis, correct?
Yes, they said it. Based on their training and experience, it seemed suspicious to them.
But never once did you tell that to the magistrate, that based on their training and experience, that seems suspicious, correct?
That's not written out in my affidavit, correct?
Nor did you say it, correct?
I don't believe so. Not in this search warrant.
All right. Now, in your oral testimony and speaking with Judge Taylor, he actually questioned you about these searching for light bulbs, correct?
Yes, he does.
Do you recall, as a result of that, what any limitations he put on the warrant regarding the light bulb search?
I can't recall if he put a limitation on it. I remember him questioning the reason to search for the light bulbs.
Right.
And I don't know my exact wording. I believe I explained to him about the surveillance video of him going back to the vehicle at lunchtime and placing the light bulbs in the vehicle, and us wanting to investigate to determine, did he have a reason to purchase the light bulbs? Were there light bulbs out at the residence where he would have needed that specific type of light bulb? So I think it was, I don't remember the specific type, but it was like a bathroom fixture type of light bulb. Or was this a reason on Mr. Harris's part to go back to the vehicle with his friends, where possibly that would be when he discovered his child, but his friends had driven off before he even got into the vehicle?
Right. I've got the oral testimony. You've had a chance to review this, correct, recently?
Yes, several days ago.
And raise your right hand again, please, sir. Swear firm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, this is the fifth in a series of search warrants on this case. Again, just for the record here, we took the common bulk testimony that's applicable to all these search warrants under E010690. And I've been incorporating that by reference and taking further sworn testimony as needed. We did that in 691, 692, and 693. We're up to E010694, and again, I'll incorporate that prior sworn testimony by referencing back to the first and subsequent search warrants, so we'll incorporate that. And then let's talk about what are you looking for in this one, and what's particular to this one?
And this one, we're looking to go to Justice Harris's residence, which is 1212 Wine Ridge Circle. They're at ordinance 30060. During the investigation, as a resident, we seen returning to the vehicle and placing a bag, which is currently a bag of light bulbs into his car. So we're looking to search the residence. Residence includes inspection of lights in and around the residence. If there are any sufficient amount of light bulbs in storage, to determine if there was a need to purchase light bulbs after the incident. To make sure there was any needed light bulbs. This is why we went about. Also searching for any financial paperwork, such as bank information, credit card information, life insurance policies, business paperwork.
Well, I know about light bulbs, but why, how's that indicative of a crime? I mean, I understand that the papers and the effect of the life insurance policy.
They're looking at the light bulbs. Did the county go to any pictures in the house? More in fact, was he looking for an excuse to go back to the vehicle during lunchtime to look in there? Or did he really go out and buy light bulbs because he needed them? Okay, they did a certain picture in his house, there was a reason he did it. Other than, hey, I'm just returning the car, I throw my light bulbs in and I'm checking to see what's going on with the kid in the car.
Okay. But do you think that did he go back to the car more than once, or just once during lunch?
Just once during lunch.
Okay.
Put the bag of light bulbs.
What kind of light bulbs were they that he bought? Were they just the incandescent, the ones you can't get anymore, or were they specialty digital ones, do you know?
They were I know it was 40 watt Phillips, and I haven't specifically, I don't have it written down, but some kind of, they look to be, from what I was told back, the picture type light bulb.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think the searching for the things such as the,
Well, what they're doing is, basically, he went out to lunch with his two buddies, and had them drive over Home Depot, buy the light bulbs. Just looking at it from a standpoint of, is that a common thing to have your friends drive to the store to buy light bulbs? You do that afterward? Was there a need to get those light bulbs that day?
I think that, I don't know where that's going to go, but I think searching for the financial paperwork and the banking information, the credit card, and life insurance policies, you know, you may have printed stuff off if he was doing searches for the car seats and things like that, or hot vehicles, or maybe paperwork on that. So I don't know. I think there's probably cause from that aspect to search the house for light bulbs. I don't know if that adds much to it, but it might. But I think you have probable cause certainly with all the other things. So we'll find there's probable cause for that, and maybe the light bulbs add to it. But certainly the life insurance and the other things do. So, all right, we'll go ahead and issue this one too. Go ahead and sign the application, please.
Okay.
And sign my side. Sorry, my pen's just not working.
I try to use the mouse to look at the scribble.
Computers. Okay, go ahead and sign the warrant portion, please. So that's a Marietta address, it's probably an unincorporated Marietta.
I believe that.
Maybe 3060, still Cobb County.
As a warrant sign.
We'll sign my side. All right, I'll give you a password print in a second. Anything you want to add to this recording before I stop it? Let me stop this one and give you a password.
All right. The light bulb interest, you actually did provide the magistrate some further information about the light bulbs and kind of what y'all were wanting to do to see if in fact you had a reason to go get light bulbs if you really needed them, or if it was just an excuse to get back to his car. You provided that in your oral testimony, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so even though the judge didn't seem to think it would necessarily add a lot, in the process of executing that warrant, did you help execute that warrant yourself on the house?
Yes, I did, sir.
And did you take part in looking around to see what the light bulb need was in the home?
Yes, I did.
All right. And in the process of that, y'all discovered that in fact there were some bulbs that needed replacement that these would have fit the bill for, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And even though that was in your affidavits for multiple warrants about that, after that execution of that warrant, you sought further search warrants in this case, correct?
After
After looking through the house at light bulbs.
I'd have to, let me look and see what date. I know there was search warrants taken after that, yes, sir.
All right. I believe it was the 30th. I believe the return would indicate the 30th of June when y'all executed the search warrant.
That sounds right, I believe so.
And then you secured warrants into August.
Yes, I secured 2 warrants in August.
All right. And on those warrants that we're about to get into, it again references this whole paragraph dedicated to this surveillance of the Home Depot and seeing him go to the car and getting light bulbs with his friends and all that sort of stuff, correct?
Yes, sir.
But at no point in time did you advise the magistrate, by the way, we executed a search warrant in his house and found out, in fact, he did need light bulbs.
Are you talking about the warrants I secured after
That's correct.
after this group? I don't know if I provided that in my oral testimony or not.
Do you have any recollection of, let's start with the written part, when you cut and pasted it, or however you got it into the next application, did you even ponder, maybe I should let the magistrate know that really turned out to be nothing? Do you recall considering that?
I'm just reviewing my written affidavit on it.
I think it's at the bottom of the affidavit page where that paragraph is located in most of them.
No, I don't believe I do not mention in the affidavit. I don't recall mentioning it in the oral testimony either for, it would be the 2 search warrants I took back in, it would be August of 2014.
In your review of those, that oral testimony, do you have any notes that you ever advised the magistrate, and that last paragraph turned out to be nothing because in fact he did need light bulbs?
I didn't advise them that he failed to mention that he had returned to his vehicle at lunchtime during his interview.
I understand. And did you ever advise the magistrate that in fact your actual investigation had shown that in fact he was in need of light bulbs to corroborate his statement, or excuse me, to corroborate the
It's not my written affidavit, and I don't recall being asked by them or providing information in my oral testimony, but I'd have to review that to be absolutely sure.
All right. And you have reviewed it, correct?
I have reviewed it. I just don't recall if that was brought up in it or not.
All right. The next 2 warrants you've spoken about were for medical records, for Cooper Harris and for Ross Harris, correct? You don't have to answer
Yes, sir.
that. That's my list anyway.
Yes, they are.
I don't have an issue there. With regards to the warrant 14 SW 660, again, this is for an iPhone 5. Which iPhone was this particular warrant for?
This is for the one that was on his person,
All right.
the day of the incident.
Now, you have already secured a search warrant for the searching of this device, correct?
I secured one on June 18th, and this was adding all the information that we'd acquired throughout the investigation to further the search of it.
Did you take part in executing the warrant on this iPhone at all yourself?
No, sir.
So whether or not there was a downloading of the device or anything of that nature, you didn't know that at the time?
I don't know specifically when they did the downloads on the phone.
All right. And this warrant is simply to add the litany of items, list of items that you're wanting to look for to see if by chance they're in this phone, correct?
I'm providing the more detailed affidavit and more information that we obtained in our investigation. Yes, adding that list of items regarding the finances, credit card, business info, life insurance, emails, communications about the child, wife, family issues, photos, videos of child development, info on car seat searches, searches about in-car deaths, communications with others on the incident date, days leading up to, and any other related information.
Now, did you relate to the magistrate at all that y'all had actually already looked through this device?
I don't know if I had or not. I don't have it listed in my notes.
Okay. All right. last ones were in August of 2014. The 14 SW 0816 and 14 SW 0844. Both of these warrants pertain to the same device, is that correct?
Yes, sir. The first warrant was to obtain it from Home Depot, and the second one was for the stored electronic evidence or
All right.
material.
That's fine. 0816 was to search the Home Depot headquarters for this device. And you had indicated that, in fact, in your written affidavit, the Home Depot had contacted your office stating that they had a computer in storage that had been issued to Mr. Harris prior to 2014, correct?
Correct.
And other than that, there was no information provided to you regarding what was contained on that computer, correct?
We were advised by Home Depot that they had his work computer in storage, and that the computer that we had from his work was issued to him in March of 2014, so this would have been the computer he had, I believe, from his start date till March of 2014.
Okay. But as far as any information other than it was previously issued to him, was there any information provided as to someone having looked on that computer to see, one, if it had information on it, and two, what specifically that information might be?
No detectives had looked at the computer.
Had anybody else looked at it?
I don't know if Home Depot had looked at it or not.
Okay. Had they indicated to you or informed you that they had looked at it and found anything?
No, simply that it was in storage, and they wanted to advise us on it.
Okay, all right. And as far as it being anywhere other than in storage, in other words, it wasn't on his desk, workstation, or anything of that nature that you were aware of?
Not that I was aware of. Obviously, prior to March of 2014, it would have been if it was, in his possession for work.
Very well. And then 844, with a separate warrant to actually then do a forensic analysis of that, correct?
Correct.
And again, your request of searching this device is for this long litany of things that we've been talking about today, starting with the finances and going through any other information related to this incident, correct?
Correct.
Now, with regards to specific use of this computer, you did have in your written affidavit, that the investigation on his other work computer had located emails about Cooper from daycare, and also this video, finally this YouTube video about how hot does it get in a hot car, correct?
Yes.
As far as communications that would have been had on that computer, the information you had was there would at least be 3 months, or since March, from March to June 18th, that Mr. Harris was not in possession of this computer, correct?
Correct.
And so to your knowledge, there would be no communications on that computer of Mr. Harris with anyone else, correct?
We did not know what communications would be on the computer.
Okay. Well, if he didn't have it in his possession, it was in storage since March.
He would have had communications leading up to March, if in fact he was having communication with others on that computer.
If, again, had no idea, correct?
Correct, that's why we're getting a search warrant.
All right. And so at best, you were hopeful you might find some 3 to 4 month old communications that he had had with somebody about something, correct?
It would have to be at least 3 months removed if the computer was not in his possession since March.
All right. And in speaking with the judge who handled that application, do you recall who that judge was, first of all?
Judge Inman?
Judge Inman, okay. And she noted that in fact, finally, it was noted that this request for having communications with people leading up to that day, that was a bit broad, correct?
Yes, I believe she said she was confused on communications with others leading up to the incidents based on it being 3 months removed from the incident.
Right. And did you note that she indicated, well, it's pretty broad to be every communication with other persons, correct?
I don't have that specific statement.
Okay.
But
Did you happen to note that you told her, well, if you don't like it, then we can take it out?
yes, I did state that.
In fact, she did take that out, correct?
No, it was not removed. I believe I added some more testimony later on about the communication. I said about the communication part, there was communication with other females on other devices that I mentioned that he said it had no issues during his interview with his marriage and as far back as leading as far back as a year and a half ago. And it's the communication list on the warrant is still there.
Okay. Are you looking at the affidavit or are you looking on the actual search warrant?
I'm looking at the search warrant. It's emails and communications, it's on both of them.
You see on your application where you're asked to look for, it's about 4 lines down, communications with other people on the days leading up to and the incident date. You see that phrase in there in your list of things you want to look for?
Oh, yes.
And then when you look to the search warrant, you see that that has been removed.
Okay, yes it has. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong line.
I'll make sure we're looking at the same thing.
Yes, I was, oh, wait. That's, okay, it's not on the search warrant, but it was left on the affidavit.
Okay.
Okay, I see that now, sir, I'm sorry.
That's the best of us.
So it was removed then,
All right.
I'm assuming.
And then, I won't have to play that then, as long as we're clear on that. Do you know if you, did you take part in the dumping of that computer, or the analysis of that computer in any way?
The work computer?
Yes.
No, I did not.
All right. And did you happen to pass along to whomever was going to do that, hey, be aware the judge is taking out one of these things that we've been looking for and all these other things, so be careful not to go into that area? Or did you even notice it?
No, I did not, because I didn't even notice it, because it's in the application. I didn't know that was removed from the search warrant.
Okay. And in the original search warrant to pick it up from Home Depot, this is also Judge Inman, I believe.
The first, to obtain the computer?
Right. May not
That
be
was,
Judge Inman.
no, hang on, I'll say. Judge Strauss.
Judge Strauss, okay. And Judge Strauss pointed out that if you got a second search warrant, it was to make sure you can search it in a way that avoids searching files that are not reasonably likely to contain the kinds of data identified in this warrant, correct? Did you note that? And I apologize, I'm jumping around a little bit on you, but...
No, I didn't.
Let me get that right quick. This is 0816. This is the oral testimony. I believe you said the name of the judge who signed that. I don't have it in front of me.
Strauss?
Strauss, very good. Or Stroud. Let me see.
We are now on audio and video and we are recording. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the facts are set forth in your application for a search warrant and the testimony that you shall give in support thereof shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
State your name and tell me where you work.
Detective Sean Murphy, Cobb County Police Department.
For how long have you been a law enforcement officer with the Cobb County Police Department?
I've been with Cobb County a little over 7 years.
And in that time, could you tell me approximately how many search warrant applications you have submitted and which have resulted in the issuance of a search warrant?
Approximately 30 now.
Down on the bottom right-hand portion of your screen, there should be a date and a time. Could you tell me what it says?
It's August 14th at 9:03 p.m.
That's exactly what my screen says. August 14, 2014, 9:03 p.m. All right, go ahead and state the facts that you believe constitute probable cause in this case and which support your application for a search warrant.
On June 18th at 6 to 24 hours, Precinct 3 officer responded to 2955 Acres Mill Road regarding a person down call and also around scene discovered Cooper Harris. It's 22-month-old, was deceased. The County Person Unit was contacted to respond to scene regarding an investigation. Justin Harris, the deceased father, was witness pulling in the parking lot of Uncle Mattio's Pizza in a SUV. The vehicle came to a sudden stop. Harris exits the vehicle and pulls the child from the car seat, which was in the rear passenger compartment of the vehicle, lays the child on the ground, begins to perform medical procedures, CPR. Some bystanders come up, he then lets them handle the CPR and goes off and begins using a cell phone. Police officers arrive on scene. He makes comments to them regarding him refusing to tell them what was going on, get off the phone. He's then handcuffed and placed in the back of the patrol car. And while he was questioned on the scene, he stated that he forgot his child, left him in the car. Sorry. Then he went to work from his residence at 1212 Rains Ridge Circle, Marietta, Georgia. Took the child to Chick-fil-A, which is located at 2485 Cromwell Parkway, where they entered the restaurant, they ate breakfast, and when he went to leave, instead of taking the child to a Home Depot headquarters, which was on Patience-Berry Road, to go to daycare, he drove straight to his work, which was 2600 Cumberland Parkway. Arrived at work with the child still in the car, went into work, left the child in the vehicle, and basically the child was left in the car for 7 hours until he located him at around 16-20 hours when he was driving down Acres Mill Road. He was later transported to the County Person Unit where he was interviewed. During the interview, he stated that leaving his son in a hot car was one of his biggest fears. According to Harris, he had recently viewed a television show concerning child deaths in cars. He also stated that he had researched the issue of child deaths in cars on the internet. He was questioned in regard to the car seat. He knew specific details about the car seat, the make, model, weight limit to the child. And when the seat was inspected for the straps, they were set too small for the child that was in it. He said he was asked Cooper's development. He said Cooper was a normal child, developing fine. He also stated he recently started a business with several friends. Then resigned from Home Depot, so was just doing that to make money on the side. This is pertaining to if he had any debt. He recently took over the finances for the family and borrowed over $4,000 in debt. And he currently has an outstanding student loan and car loan between him and his wife. He stated that he was happily married and on other searches of other computers and electronic devices such as phones, there is evidence of inappropriate sexual communication between him and other women. The day of the incident, his wife was also talked to, and by investigators during the interview, she made similar statements that this was her worst fear, specifically Cooper dying in a hot car, not her son dying. During investigation, also obtained surveillance video from Home Depot. On the video, Harris was seen pulling in the parking lot of his work the morning of the incident. He drives to the parking space, backs up the vehicle several feet, that pulls forward in that space near the back of the lot. He exits the vehicle and walks into the office building at lunchtime. Harris then returns the vehicle with a bag of light bulbs, opens the door, places them in the vehicle. The child is in the car this time. He does not see the child. Goes back into work, returns to the vehicle after work, gets in the vehicle, does not see the child, drives off, and then later sees the child several minutes down the roadway when she pulls over and creates a scene in the shopping center. Through the investigation, he's also made comments to family members regarding life insurance policies that he had on Cooper and what they needed to do in order to file for. And he had a new computer from 2014 until now, which we already have in his evidence. We were just informed by Home Depot that they had his old computer, which is a Lenovo ThinkPad model T510, in storage, and he had that computer basically from when he started until March 24, when he was issued a new computer, and they thought that we needed to know that information. So the search warrant is to obtain that computer from Home Depot.
I see. So what you're telling me is that the computer that had been issued to Mr. Harris in March of this year, you have in your possession?
Yes, sir.
Pursuant to an execution of a search warrant, prior search warrant?
Yes.
But now Home Depot has told you that before March, Mr. Harris had been issued and had been using a different computer, which you identify here, prior to the time when he was issued the computer in March.
Yes.
And so it's the prior issued computer that you're looking for?
Yes, sir.
What are you searching for?
Particularly once we get the computer, we'll probably secure another search warrant to search the computer, but for any type of research on hot car deaths, in-car deaths, things of that nature, and inappropriate communications between him and other females, anything on his business, finances.
I see. So you're telling deaths in cars, but he didn't say when.
Correct.
So it may be that your thought process is it may be that there's some research to that consistent with that statement that is on the old computer. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
What else do you think you might find in that computer?
If there's any communication between him about the development of Cooper, if there was any issues with the child, His other computer, he was getting emails from Home Depot about for the daycare.
You mean, when you say the other computer, the computer that was issued in March?
Yes, sir.
Being the other computer? Okay. Anything else you wish to add?
No, sir.
And where is the computer right now?
It's at Home Depot's corporate headquarters, Paces Ferry Road, Cobb County.
What's the address?
It's at 2455 Paces Ferry Road, Atlanta, Georgia.
30339?
Yes,
And it's in Cobb County?
yes, sir.
Okay, on the basis of your application and the testimony that you have given under oath in support thereof, I find that probable cause does exist and that there's a fair probability that the items sought or tangible evidence of criminal activity or tangible evidence of the commission of a crime will be found at the place to be searched, and therefore I grant the search warrant. This search warrant covers a computer, which you describe as a Lenovo ThinkPad model T510, serial number R9NT1KT, currently at Home Depot corporate headquarters at 2455 Paces Ferry Road, Atlanta, Georgia 30339. And did you tell me that you were planning on getting another search warrant to actually get inside the computer after you had seized the computer?
Yes, sir, this one's just to seize it, and once we have it in our custody, we'll get a second warrant to go through all the, being.
So in other words, your intention is to get a second search warrant so that you can search it in a way which avoids searching files that are not reasonably likely to contain the kinds of data identified in this warrant or in that subsequent search warrant?
Yes.
All right. Having granted the search warrant, I'm going to take you off the video.
Okay.
All right. Now, with regards to the warning that Judge Strauss gave about making sure that a subsequent search or search warrant avoids going into files not reasonably likely to contain this information, did you pass that cautionary instruction to anyone upon obtaining this warrant or the subsequent search warrant?
No.
So unless somebody had been listening to the oral testimony, there'd be no way for anybody else to hear that cautionary instruction. Correct?
I believe he was just describing that we would have to abide by the search warrants and what information we're looking for.
Fair enough. And that was the last warrant that you sought from Judge Strauss, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you obtain any other search warrants in this investigation?
No, it was this one and then the one with Inman, which we already discussed, to search it, and I did not obtain any other search warrants.
Right. Did you take part in the execution of any of the search warrants on the electronic devices?
I did with one.
Which one was that?
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Apple MacBook Pro.
You have the search warrant by chance, search warrant number you were executing? I know we have multiple ones for that.
Yeah, give me one. believe it would be 0635.
Okay. This is the MacBook Pro from the residence as opposed to the MacBook Pro from the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how did you go about executing the warrant on that computer?
I believe I was provided with a disk from which the computer, I can't describe how the high tech does it, but they image the computer onto a disk or download the information. They'll have to describe specifically how they do it.
Okay.
But I believe I don't know if I received it directly from high tech or if it was given to me from Detective Stoddard and asked to review it regarding the search warrant.
And
And that was on July 8th of
July 8th.
2014.
what did you do with that disk?
I placed it in my computer. I believe I had to download it to my computer to be able to look through it. And as far as looking into the computer, I recall looking at Google searches and different internet searches on it. And I believe Leanna's phone had somehow, there was downloaded text messages to it from the January 25th, 2014 through May 29, 14. And I looked through that.
All right, let me slow you down just a little bit. You said you looked at Google messages,
It would be internet searches.
internet searches. And what else?
And there was a link or a file with text messages that was from Leanna's phone that must have, I don't know how it would be, I guess downloaded to the computer or saved on the computer through her phone.
How was that file labeled?
I can't recall how it was labeled.
Okay.
It might have just said messages, I'm not sure though. I'd have to look at the disk again. And that was like message chats or text messages from January 25th, 2014 through May 29th, 2014.
1/24/14 to 5.
1/25/14 through 5/29/14.
Thank you. And how did you determine that these were from Leanna Harris's phone?
I believe it had her phone number on the list as the text message would have been from her. And it said, I got me next to her phone number on the list of text messages.
Okay. You have that phone number handy by chance?
It's 205-792-6806.
All right. And what you actually opened up, was it like a screenshots of text messages, or was it
I think it was just a list of text messages between those two dates.
okay. And were you able to determine who those are text messages with?
We knew Mr. Harris' phone number, so I was able to determine if they were between him and I didn't go into specifically other numbers.
Okay.
I mainly looked at the content to see if it was related to, in regards to the search warrant.
Okay. Do you remember roughly how many we're talking about? More than 100, less than 100?
Text messages? It had to have been more than 100.
Okay. And so when you opened it up, are you telling us that you did not look at any of the content of those messages except for those that had her phone number and his phone number attached to it?
No. Obviously, I tried to focus on ones with her phone number and his, but I also looked at basically, I went through the list of them. That was the only way to go through it. And if it wasn't related, I would just kind of skim through it and try to get to ones that were related to this investigation.
So all these other text messages you had with other people, you actually looked at the content of those and made a determination?
Well, the content was visible on the list, yes.
I understand. after having a phone number attached to each one? Did I get that right?
They would have had a phone number attached to each one, yes.
So you would have been able to distinguish phone calls between she and Mr. Harris from phone calls to other people, correct?
Text messages, yes.
I'm sorry, text messages, thank you.
Yes, based on looking at the phone number, I would have been able to, unless it was from him using a different phone, but I wouldn't suspect that would happen through text messaging.
All right.
Are you close to the end of this line?
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Maybe 2 minutes, if I can finish it up.
Sure. This is perfect. You must have a digital watch.
The Google messages that you looked at, explain to us, how did you view?
I didn't view any Google messages. It would have been like the internet searches that were done on that device.
I got you.
It would have,
And how were you able to look at internet searches?
I just remember it just had a big list of internet searches that were done on that device.
And when you pop the disk in and look at it, is it actually separated to a category that says internet searches?
I believe there's files on the side that would have separated into it, but again, it's been a while since I've looked at it. I'm just trying to recall how it looked.
Okay.
I believe I had to click on something to get to the internet searches.
All right. And when you got to them, again, just as best you can describe to us, what are you looking at? Are they screenshots of?
No, it would just be web addresses. A lot of them, you couldn't even determine what it was based on the language. It was just a lot of numbers and letters, and you'd have to click on it to pull it up to see what it was.
Okay. Is this kind of like in a spreadsheet format we're talking about?
2014 until now, which we already have in as evidence. We were just informed by one